following story deals with mature themes. Discretion is advised. When man has trod his weary path upon this earth, what will we leave behind? What remnants will remain to tell of what we were, what we dreamed, what we hoped to be, and what has been lost? There Will Come Soft Rains by Bradbury. Read by Karl. In the living room, the voice clock sang, "Tick-tock, 7 o'clock, time to get up, 7 o'clock," as if it were afraid that nobody would. The morning house lay empty. The clock ticked on, repeating and repeating its sounds in emptiness. 7-9, breakfast time, 7-9. In the kitchen, the breakfast stove gave a hissing sigh and ejected from its warm interior 8 pieces of perfectly brown toast, 8 eggs sunny side up, 60 slices of bacon, 2 coffees, and 2 cool glasses of milk. Today is August 4th, 2026, said a second voice from the kitchen ceiling. In the city of Allendale, California. It repeated the date 3 times for memory's sake. Today is Mr. Featherstone's birthday. Today is the anniversary of Toledo's marriage. Insurance is payable, as are the water, gas, and light bills. Somewhere on the walls, relays clicked, memory's tapes glided under electric eyes. 8-1, tick-tock, 8-1 o'clock, off to school, off to work, run, 8-1. Window doors slammed, and our carpets took the soft tread of rubber heels. It was raining outside. The weather box on the front door sang quietly, "Rain, rain, go away, rubbers, raincoats for today," and the rain tapped on the empty house, echoing. Outside, the garage chimed and lifted its door to reveal the waiting car. After a long wait, the door swung down again. At 8:30, the eggs were shriveled and the toast was like stone. An aluminum wedge scraped them into the sink, where hot water whirled them down a metal soap which digested and flushed them away to the distant sea. The dirty dishes was dropped into hot water and emerged twinkling dry. 9:15, sounded the clock. Time to clean. Out of warrants on the wall, tiny robot mice darted. The room was a crawl with the small cleaning animals, all rubber and metal. They thudded against chairs, whirled over mustachioed runners, kneading the rug nap, sucking gently at hidden dust. Then, like mysterious invaders, they popped into the burrows. Their pink electric eyes faded. The house was clean. 10 o'clock. The sun came up from behind the rain. The house stood alone in a city of rubble and ashes. This was the one house left standing. At night, the ruined city gave off a radioactive glow which could be seen for miles. 10:15. The garden sprinkles rolled up in golden fonts, filling the soft morning air with scatterings of brightness. The water pelted window panes, running down the charred west side, where the house had been burned evenly free of its white paint. The entire west face of the house was black, save for 5 places. Here, the silhouette in paint of a man mowing a lawn. Here, as in a photograph, a woman bent to pick flowers. Still further over, their images burned in wood in one titanic instant. A small boy, hands flung in the air, higher up, the image of a thrown ball, and opposite him a girl, hands raised to catch a ball which never came down. The 5 spots of paint, the man, the woman, the children, and the ball, remained. The rest was a thin charcoal layer. The gentle sprinkler rain filled the garden with failing light. To this day, how well the house had kept its peace, how carefully it inquired, "Who goes there? What's the password?" Getting no answer from lonely foxes and whining cats. It shut up its windows and drawn shades, and an old and maidenly preoccupation with self-protection, which bordered on a mechanical paranoia. It quivered at each sound, the house did. The sparrow brushed the window, the shade snapped up. The bird, startled, flew off. No, not even a bird much touched the house. The house was an altar with 10,000 attendants, big, small, servicing, and tending inquirers. But the gods had gone away, and ritual of the religion continued senselessly, uselessly. 12 noon, a dog whined, shivering on the front porch. The front door recognized the dog voice and opened. The dog, once large and fleshy, but now gone to bone and covered with sores, moved in and into the house, tracking mud. Behind it whirred angry mice, angry at having to pick up mud, angry at inconvenience. For not a leaf fragment blew onto the door, but what the wall panels slipped open and the copper scrap rats flashed swiftly out. The offending dust, hair or paper, seized in miniature steel claws, was raced back to the burrows. There, down tubes that fed into the cellar, it was dropped into the sighing vents of an incinerator, which sat like evil Baal in a dark corner. The dog ran upstairs, hilariously yelping to each door, At last realizing, as the house realized, that only silence was here, it sniffed the air and scratched the kitchen door. Behind the door, the stove was baking pancakes, which filled the house with a rich baked odor and the scent of maple syrup. A dog frothed at the mouth, lying at the door, sniffing, its eyes turned to fire, ran wildly in circles, biting at its tail, spun in a frenzy, and died. Lay in the parlor for an hour. 2 o'clock, sang a voice. Delicately, sensing decay at last, the remnants of mice hummed out as softly as blown grey leaves in an electrical wind. 2:15, the dog was gone. In the cellar, the incinerator glowed suddenly, and a whirl of sparks leaped up the chimney. 2:35. Bridge tables sprouted from patio walls. Playing cards fluttered onto pads in a shower of pips. Martinis manifested on an oaken bench with egg salad sandwiches. Music played. But the tables were silent, and the cards untouched. 4 o'clock, the tables floated like great butterflies back to the paneled walls. 4:30, the nursery walls glowed. Animals took shape: yellow giraffes, blue lions, pink antelopes, lilac tigers cavorting in crystal substance. The walls were glass. They looked out upon color and fantasy. Hidden films clocked through wild, well-oiled sprockets, and the walls lived. Nursery floor was woven to resemble a crisp cereal meadow. Over this ran aluminum roaches and iron crickets, and the hot, still air butterflies of delicate red tissue wavered among the sharp aroma of animal spores. It was a sound like a great matted yellow hive of bees within the dark bellows, the lazy rumble of a purring lion. There was a patter of okapi feet, and the murmur of fresh jungle rain, like other hooves, falling upon the summer-starched grass. Now the walls dissolved in the distances of parched weed, mile on mile in warm, endless sky. The animals drew away in storm breaks and water holes. It was the children's hour. 5 o'clock, the baths filled with clear hot water. 6, 7, 8 o'clock, the dinner dishes manipulated like magic tricks. In the study, a click. In the metal stand opposite the hearth, where a fire neck blazed out warmly, a cigar popped out, half an inch of soft grey ash on it, smoking, waiting. 9 o'clock, the bed swarmed their hidden circuits, for nice and cool here. 9:05, a voice from the study ceiling. Mrs. McCullen, which poem would you like this evening? The house was silent. The voice said at last, Since you expressed no preference, I shall select a poem at random. Quiet music rose to back the voice. Sarah Teasdale, as I recall, your favorite. There will come soft rains and the smell of the ground, and swallows circling with their shimmering sound, and frogs in the pool singing at night, and wild plum trees in tremulous white. Robins will wear their feathery fire, whistling their whims on a low fence wire. And yet none will know of the war, not one, will care at last when it is done. Not one would mind, neither bird nor tree, if mankind perished utterly. And Sprague herself, when she woke at dawn, would scarcely know that we were gone. The fire burned on the stone hearth, and the cigar fell away into a mound of quiet ash on its tray. The empty chairs faced each other between the silent walls, and the music played. At 10 o'clock, the house began to die. The wind blew. Falling tree bough crashed through the kitchen window. Cleaning solvent, bottle, chattered over the stove. The room was ablaze in an instant. Fire! Screamed a voice. The house lights flashed. Water pumped shot water from the ceilings. But the solvent spread on the linoleum, leaking, eating, under the kitchen door, while the voices took it up in chorus. Fire! 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 The house tried to save itself. The doors sprang tightly shut, but the windows were broken by the heat, and the wind blew and sucked upon the fire. The house gave ground as the fire in 10 billion angry sparks moved with flaming ease from room to room and then up the stairs, while scurrying water rats squeaked from the walls, pistoled their water and ran for more, and the wall sprays let down showers of mechanical rain. But too late. Somewhere, sighing, a pump shrugged to a stop. The quenching rain ceased. The reserve water supply, which had filled baths and water dishes for many quiet days, was gone. The fire crackled up the stairs. It fed upon Picassos and Matisses in the upper halls, like delicacies, baking off the oily flesh, tenderly crisping the canvases and the black shavings. Now the fire lay in beds, stood in windows, changed the color of drapes, and then reinforcement. From attic doors, blind robot faces peered down with faucet mouths gushing green chemicals. The fire backed off, as even an elephant must at the sight of a dead snake. Now there were 20 snakes whipping over the floor, killing the fire with a cold venom of green froth. But the fire was clever. It sent flames outside the house, up to the attics and the pumps there. An explosion! The attic blade which directed the pumps was shattered into bronze shrapnel on the beams. The fire rushed back into every closet and fell to the clothes hanging there. The house shuddered, oak bone on bone, its bare skeleton cringing from the heat, its wire, its nerves revealed, as if a surgeon had torn the skin off to let the red veins and capillaries quiver in the scalded air. Help, help, fire, run, run! Heat snapped mirrors like the brittle winter ice, and the voices wailed, Fire, fire, run, run, like a tragic nursery rhyme. A dozen voices, high, low, like children dying in a forest, alone, alone. And the voices fading as the wires popped their sheathings like hot chestnuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 voices died. In the nursery, the jungle burned. Blue lions roared, purple giraffes bounded off. The panther ran in circles, changing colors. 10 million animals, running before the fire, vanished off towards a distant, steaming river. 10 more voices died. In the last instance of the fire avalanche, other choruses, oblivious, could be heard announcing the time, playing music, cutting the lumber and remote control mower, or setting an umbrella frantically out and in the slamming and opening front door. Dozen things happening, like a clock shop when every clock strikes the hour in insanity before or after the other. A scene of maniac confusion, unity, singing, screaming, a few last cleaning mice darting bravely out to carry the horrid ashes away. And one voice, with sublime disregard for the situation, read poetry aloud in the fiery study, till all the film spools burned, till all the wires withered and the circuits cracked. The fire burst the house and let it slam flat down, puffing out skirts of spark and smoke. In the kitchen, an instant before the rain and fire and timber, the stove could be seen making breakfast at a psychopathic rate. 10 dozen eggs, 6 loaves of toast, 20 dozen bacon strips, which, eaten by fire, started the stove working again, hysterically hissing. The crash. The attic smashing into the kitchen and parlor, the parlor into cellar, cellar into subcellar, deep freeze, armchair, film tape, circuits, beds, and all like skeletons, thrown in a cluttered mound deep under. Smoke and silence. A great quantity of smoke. Dawn showed faintly in the east. Among the ruins, one wall stood alone. Within the wall, a last voice said, over and over and over again, even as the sun rose to shine upon the heaped rubble and steam. Today is August 3rd, 2026. Today is August 3rd, 2026. Today is the end.